Hey, welcome back. So, to those who have listened to this podcast before, thank you for coming back. And to those that are new listeners, if you don't know, well, you probably don't know, I took a little hiatus from the last episode. And I think depending when I post this episode, it will have been probably about 2.5 months since the last time I put out an episode. And I'm sorry if that break was, I think, abrupt for any of the listeners that are coming back. But I just needed some time away to think and to just live a little bit and to not feel like I have to be putting something out every single week. It was really hard, and think in the end, to be able to produce a new episode every single week, especially about topics that are very deep or abstract. Either way, I am very, very happy to say that I will be coming back, but maybe just not in the same format that I was around the first time. So I have a bunch of new stuff that I've been writing that I feel really good about, and I think that the writing is taking a different path, if you will, but it's a good thing. It's a great thing. And so I'm really excited to share with you guys some stuff I've been thinking about and just experiencing. And I didn't realize how much I enjoyed talking to you guys every week and sharing my life with you and all my ideas and big existential stuff. So I guess, for those who are wondering, well, how often are you going to be putting out episodes or something along those lines? It's hard to say. I'm definitely not going to be posting stuff every week just because a lot of the stuff I do write stems from my own experiences, and I need time not only to process all those experiences, but then also reflect on those things and then write about those things. And then the writing itself can take, quite some time. So I think maybe a good rule of thumb is to probably just check in once a month. Once a month, check in and see if there's a new episode or not. I think you guys will see that there is no downgrade in quality. And that's kind of the idea. I want to put out meaningful words and not just something to feel like I'm doing something. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to continue to share more with you guys and just hopefully continue to see where this podcast goes. Since I've been gone, the podcast has still been getting listens all around the world. I still have people coming in every week listening to the podcast, which is just, it's amazing. And I appreciate it so much. So to everyone who has listened, continues to listen, any new listeners, I appreciate it so much. That was kind of one of my fears, was that if I come back after a break, will people still want to hear me? Will people still be listening? Apparently, there are people who are still listening. So it means the world to me, and I appreciate it. So thank you. And yeah, I'm excited to share the next chapter, I guess, of this podcast. Without further ado, here's the new episode. Hey, thanks for joining me today. You're listening to The Sit Down with Roman Gray. I saw a shooting star the other night, and I don't know why, but it made me really happy. It had me thinking about how amazing life can be in just the simplest of things. The other night, my girlfriend and I, we went out and had nachos on the beach, followed by some late night impromptu dancing in a gazebo in the heart of downtown. I've been chasing the pursuit of finding meaning, finding value, of feeling fulfilled in all my human experiences. But whenever I decide to take a step back and jump out of who I think I am or what I think I know, I'm always pleasantly surprised by what I find. Since I've been on this push of finding purpose in my pursuits and wondering if it's even possible for me to ever feel truly satisfied, I come to one thought. Every time I think I find the meaning of life, it changes. It will feel like when I finally get it, when I finally understand something that feels so abstract, the answer becomes invalid as soon as I discover it, or just that answer becomes short-lived. It's been a really tumultuous process. However, I continue to have, I guess, what feels like mini revelations I am aware enough to know that what I'm about to say isn't exactly revolutionary. But since I've been practicing letting go of my firmly held ideas and sense of self and desires, life feels better. I don't know how else to explain it. Life feels more like life, like something that is a truly special experience and not just some unwavering existence. I don't know about you guys, but I know that my personality type is a bit much. For quite some years now, it feels like I've prided myself on knowing the secret answers to life. That's only fueled my search for answers to these big, abstract questions. It's as if I based my identity and personal significance on these big existential ideas. Maybe, probably because it felt like a defense mechanism from the world. Until this day, I feel the need, for whatever reason, to test the truths of most answers or assumptions in order to know if it's actually true. Things like knowledge, understanding, and insight are things I value very highly. And I think because of that, I've built my identity around having ideas and priding myself on being someone who has something unusual and insightful to say. The question that lays at the heart of this episode is, who is they? It feels like the younger version of me would say, oh, it's all the adults, right? It's all the change makers, and society as a whole is to blame. But, of course, as I age, I'm finding that they is now me. I'm the one that is somehow changing the narrative, changing the answers to all my burning desires. Every time I find the meaning of life, I change it. Let me explain. So, the more experiences I have, the more questions that come up, and the more things I want to know, which all inevitably lead me to more and more answers. Whenever those answers decide to pop up, when that happens, there's no singular person or group that is telling me my answers are obsolete. Now, obviously, I do understand there are followings and beliefs and certain individuals that will go against my views and thoughts, and that's okay. That's just part of the world we live in. That's not my concern. It has no impact on my life and how I live it. When those answers that I so desperately seek make themselves known in whatever little way, they're so fleeting. And I guess that's just one of the major themes in life. I think that the reason those answers are so fleeting is because while they may satisfy my existential tendencies, they just typically end up posing more questions. Or I'll have more experiences that then make those answers feel somehow less true, less idealistic, less whole. Or they'll just no longer satisfy my craving. It's a bit of a vicious cycle. It's weird because as I'm telling you all this, all that I can think about right now, or all that's popping into my head, is that amazing statement that Alan Watts said. He said, we all run around in a great big panic, rushing around as if life is something to win rather than simply experience. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what's happening to me right now. I'm letting go of this need to win in this life and have this rush to true understanding, whatever that means. The more I've been letting go of my attachments to rigidity and certainty and just sort of rolling with the waves that life likes to throw us into, the more interesting and rich my life has become. Because, let's be honest, life is nothing but uncertainty and risks, filled with human emotion and all types of desires and suffering. With our existence already from the minute we're born filled with so much potential for change and dramatic turnarounds, it actually makes sense that the answers I constantly seek out will also inevitably change due to the sheer force of chance. But I think that right there is what gives so much of our lives its intersections and its uniqueness. I know now that the answers I have today to most things will change, or at least differ to some degree as I get older, as I take on more choices and different things that challenge who I am. So, I guess to wrap this all up, yes, every time I find the meaning of life, they change it because you and I are they. We are life itself and not somehow separate from it. Since we are all life itself, and life knows nothing but chance, expansion, and opportunity, you, I, and everyone else changes the meaning, whether those answers are universal or particular, is room for a deeper conversation. But for now, I think I'm okay with letting myself just fall deeper into the trance of life and its synonymous love with risk, chance, and change. Here's a question that you may have never been asked in your whole life. How many times have you found the meaning of life? Hey guys, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. Please don't forget to support me by visiting my website, itsromangray.com, as well as follow me on Twitter and Instagram at itsromangray. I love all of you so much just for being here and supporting me. It means everything. Thank you so much. And until next time.